What's up, guys? This is Christian Wants to Battle, or you can just call me Christian. And today I have a draft recap for LUPD Season 2. Now, this draft is a little different. It has the Ubers tier, so you basically sacrifice your OU picks for one Ubermon, or if you don't pick up an Ubermon, you get two OU picks. It has drafting of Z crystals, which I thought was really cool. And if you make it to playoffs, it's a best of three. So it's not like one and done. You actually play a best of three. And another thing I thought was really cool is it's kind of like a VGC style, is what John was telling me. John is the new coordinator of LUPD. And he was telling me that in VGC they kind of lock in certain mons and their sets and everything, and then they battle it out. And it's kind of the same way. So like for playoffs, you have like one set. So I can't like bring like multiple sets of the same mon and then kind of like bring it to battle. I have to have one definitive set and bring that to battle. I thought that was really cool, honestly. It really limits you, kind of makes you think a little bit. What your opponent's gonna bring. I thought honestly it was like, you can make multiple teams, multiple mons with different sets, and I was like, man, that is so hectic. But I really like what John did here. It definitely perfected my idea of best of three because I had it in another league, and it really just I didn't like it. But I really like this one because it really you have to really prep for it, and you really have to put a lot of thought into what mons you're bringing, and if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. So I thought it was really cool. So kudos to John on that. Really good coordinator. Definitely big shout out to him, honestly. Really had to deal with a lot this year. And, I know that being a coordinator for this league was really tough on me. And, honestly, I really didn't help out. I kind of had to butt head, or, well, I butt heads with him a lot. So, uh, for all that he had to deal with, I think that he did a great and phenomenal job with this league. He was very considerate of other people. He at the end of the day, he just got it done, and I thought it was an amazing draft league. Um, but we're gonna get right into my draft picks. So, for my first pick, I really, really wanted Marshadow, and so I was really leaning on that. I had my original plan and I had a backup plan. Marsha was in my original plan. I've always wanted to use it. I thought it was the coolest mon. It was cute, to be honest. It's a cute little thing. And I never got to use it. Never got to play with it. I never really played Uber, so I really didn't play with a lot of these mons. But um, Marsha was definitely the mon I really really wanted. But I literally got sniped like instantly, and it was just like, like I was the sixth pick. I could never say that. I got the sixth pick, and Marshadow was picked fifth, and I was so pissed. Honestly, I was like, "Are you for real?" Like this whole draft league, there's just snipe central for everyone. In fact, I sniped people, and I don't feel bad because I got sniped. So I went with Plan B. It took me a little time to consider, but I went with Plan B, which was to establish my Dragon Fairy Steel Core as soon as possible. In my opinion, it is so hard to establish that core. Just kind of like limited minds, sometimes they just don't work well with each other. So I wanted to establish that immediately, get that out of the way. So my first pick was actually Naganadel, which was also kind of another mon I really wanted to use. Never got the chance to use it. Nicknamed it Pepsis, named after the tarantula hawk. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. It's terrifying. But I believe it's in the Pepsis family. I believe that's how it was displayed to me. So I named this thing Pepsis, my Naganadel. This thing hits like a truck. It didn't get immediately banned, but it got banned pretty quickly um, to the Uber's tier. Great attack, special attack, and great speed. Glass cannon. Get one. I believe it's one nasty plot up, and Dragonium Z on a Chansey does like 95 to 100. I'm not really 100% sure. I just know it depletes the crap out of Chansey. So really happy I got this mon. It runs, Sludge Wave, Draco Meteor, Nasty Plot, Flamethrower, or what's that move? Fire Blast. Basic set. I think it's a fun set. Has Beast Boost. Um, yeah, I'm really happy with this pick. I think that um, this thing can do a lot, and I don't really have to worry about fairy types because fairy type comes in on me. Most likely, I'll have a nasty plot up, and then I can sludge wave, and no problem. If it's like a Mawile or something, or a Klefki, I don't know. I can use fire blast or you know flamethrower. But yeah, this thing hits like a truck, and I was really happy I got to pick it up. I've never used it in my life. I thought it was like one of the coolest Ultra Beasts out there. So really, really happy about that. But yeah, so my next pick was a snipe. This was probably the first time I sniped someone, which I thought was like, oh crap. I actually sniped two people. I sniped my friend Carl, and I snapped John, or sniped John's snapped. I sniped John's sister, which is her name is Joanne. Um, so I actually picked up a mod that I really like, which is gonna be Togekiss. Now Togekiss I name Omelet because it looks like an omelet to me. Um, for some people that might be kind of weird that it looks like an omelet to me, but nonetheless it's an omelet, and it has great stats in general. Attack, which really doesn't matter, is pretty low, but yeah, it has great attack. It has a great ability, Serene Grace, which doubles the secondary effects. So a lot of people, or I should say me, use kind of the scummy set, which is going to be the T-Wave set and the Air Slash set. But as you can see, it has really good coverage. Ancient Power, Aura Spear. It gets Flamethrower. It gets extra sensory accessories. It gets Grass Knot, Heal Bell, which was a huge reason why I picked it up. It has Defog. I don't know if you guys saw that up there. It got Extreme Speed, which I did not know, but that's good to know after the season has finished. But it has Roost. It's a jack of all trades, and honestly, I can use it in any way I can or want. Tailwind, Wish, yeah, it just has a really great move pool. I thought it really, had a place on my team. It's probably my favorite fairy type in general, so really, really happy I got to pick it up, and I think it can do a lot. So I'm glad I didn't wait either. But yeah, so as you can see, I have my dragon and now I have my fairy. So now I have to look at my steel. Uh, I kind of considered a lot about this option. It was really hard to make a decision, to be honest, because I was looking at Metagross, right? And this was about the time where it kind of got, I kind of butt heads with John, because it's kind of stupid that I did this, and I really feel bad about it. But I was just being a jerk because I noticed one of my opponents kind of utilized the draft, or kind of took advantage of the draft picks, because in this draft, Tapu Lele was OU, and this person didn't draft a Uber, so he drafted Mega Lopunny, and then he drafted Tapu Lele, which normally Tapu Lele is banned to OU, or I'm sorry, Ubers in Draft League. Um, but this one, it was kind of just overlooked, and John, I don't think John knew about it. I did. John probably didn't think it was a problem, which honestly, it's kind of on the borderline of being a problem, not. But in my mind, when I looked at it, I was just being a jerk, to be honest. Because in my mind, I was looking at it as, oh, this guy just got free Uber. In fact, I think I said that. I was like, oh wow, this guy just got free Uber and an OU Mon. That's kind of crappy. So that wasn't fair to John, because he put a lot of thought in this, and I feel bad. But when I was looking at that, I was looking at my options. I was gonna pick up Metagross, but I decided to pick up this Mon just to combat that. I decided to pick up Bronzong. I picked this up because it is an insane insane defensive mon. It has, levitate. It has two great abilities, levitate and heat proof, which I used heat proof a lot, to be honest. Not a lot of people expected that. I thought that was interesting. Um, but yeah, so I have, it can run, you know, leftovers. That's basically it, honestly. It has gyro ball, the screens, explosion. Never used it, which I did, to be honest. Um, it has trick. It has toxic. Yeah, it's just kind of like a really bulky defensive mon. Stealth rocks, which was another huge reason why I picked it up because I really needed a stealth rocker. I know Metagross gets stealth rock, but I thought this was a cool mon to pick up. I also named this Taco Bell. If you guys didn't see that, really thought that was a clever name because I love Taco Bell. I think I was craving Taco Bell at that time. But yeah, really, really proud of this pick. Metagross would have been cool, but honestly, the another reason why I picked Bronzong is because he's in a lower tier, and that kind of frees up a tier space in the upper tiers. So like now, instead of having like I believe it was a T3, I believe Metagross was a T3. Instead of using that space, I could use it for starting my grass, fire, and water core. So and to personally for me, I feel like fire types are really hard to find in the lower tiers. So I really needed that T3 fire type. So don't regret it. Love this mon. Definitely helped me out through the season. Great stats all around. Not even complaining about my pick right there. So my next pick is actually going to be Adam Levine, coming back. Grew up, big boy Adam Levine. Had a Tangela last season. Now I have a Tangrowth. This thing is a monster regenerator. Now, instead of having an Eviolite, it can have leftovers. It can have assault vest. I can run an assault vest Tangrowth. It can have Rocky Helmet. Look at those stats. It has 100 base HP, 100 base attack, defense 125, special attack 110, 50, for the next speed, which kind of sucks for a special defense, but it is what it is. Great kind of mixed wall right there because it has really good coverage. It gets Brick Break, Body Slam, Energy Ball, Giga Drain. I'm just naming it off like things I see. Earthquake, Knockoff, Leech Seed. If I really kind of want to go for a more bulkier set, kind of like a kind of like hits and then kind of whittle down my opponent as Synthesis. I know it does. Power Whip. It has Reflect. Does it have Light Screen? I'm not gonna look for it. No, I don't think it has Light Screen. Toxic. Sleep Powder. Yeah. It just has a lot of great moves. Sludge Bomb. I know back down here it has Ancient Power, which I thought was really cool. I think it helped me out in one of my matches, so it was really fun. I really like this mon. There's not really much else to say. It has really good coverage, really good stats, regenerator, an amazing ability. Yeah, I love this mod. I loved it in the first season. Tangela. Definitely helped out a lot. Helped out in my semifinal match. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but absolutely walled most of this my opponent's teams, or my opponent's team. Sorry, and I ever since I just love this mon. But yeah, gonna move on. Next, I picked up Harambe, my Darmanitan. Really just picked it up because it's a hard hitter. It was between this and Embor, and at the end of the day, I kind of went with the mon that I have more experience with, and I thought Harambe was that mon. So good HP, attack 140 with sheer force and possibly life orb. Yeah, that thing is wrecking something. It has pretty decent speed. It can outspeed a lot of the Pokemon on my opponent's teams. Scarf, I can run Scarf. It has a decent move pool. It has Flare Blitz. It has Earthquake, Superpower, U-turn. All that stuff. Really good. Really, just in general, a really good mon. Kind of, just kind of thinking right now. Flare Blitz, right? Flame Charge right there. Flare Blitz. So I never understood this about Sheer Force because it says secondary effect is Shear force says like it nullifies the effects, right? Well, is it shouldn't recoil be an effect? That would be so broken if it was. If it just negated recoil, but it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. I just kind of a thought that I had. Anyways, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this because at the end of the day, I did trade it. I'm just gonna be honest, for real. Um, yeah, I traded it, so that's unfortunate. But I did like using it for the first few weeks. I thought it was a phenomenal mon, hard hitter, really meshed well with my team, but at the end of the day, I kind of had to make a decision on what direction I wanted to bring my team, and Harambe unfortunately was not part of that decision. So, anyways, gonna move on. We picked up Gligar or Gligar. I can't really, for whatever reason, say that name, but I named him Terry after the Batman Beyond series. I have a friend named Brandon. He really likes the DC universe, and he really appreciated that name. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Because this thing is a monster. Now, I wanted this. At the time, I kind of backed out of the chat to do something. I was kind of busy at the time, and I gave my draft picks to my friend John, who is the coordinator. And I wanted another Mon before this. Um, Terry was kind of like my second Mon that I wanted, but the way it worked out is fine. At the end of the day, I got all the picks I wanted, and Terry. I'm kind of glad Terry was picked first because Terry is a monster. Eviolite, it has immunity. It has a pretty decent move pool. As you can see, the defense is 105. With Eviolite, that's more obviously 150. Whatever. Uh, Special defense is decent. After that, speed is pretty good. HP is decent. It has earthquake obviously because it's a earth ground type. It has defog, roost, toxic, knockoff, which I thought was really cool. Um, what else you got? Sludge bomb. I didn't know you got that. Taunt, which I thought was really cool. Tailwind, and I believe it said U-turn. So yeah, this mon was a monster. Definitely helped me out throughout the season. Yeah, this thing is insane. I loved Harry. I loved Gliscor, and I got the little brother, and it did phenomenal this season. I can't really say much more about that, and we'll go through that after I kind of recap the season. But yeah, Terry was a monster. Next, I picked up Aang, my Linoon. It has a little arrow on its little head, so I named it Aang after the avatar. My girlfriend thought that was kind of cute, and it is a cute mon. I picked this up, and the only reason I picked this up, and the only reason I wanted it before Terry, was because it was in a lower tier. I think it was in like the fifth tier or the fourth tier. I can't remember which one. But this thing is a monster. On face value, you don't really look at it and you're like, oh man, it's not really that good. It has, obviously decent speed, but that's about it. But it has this cool ability, Gluttony, right? And you can run a Figgy Berry right there. And then you can run a move called Belly Drum, which is right there. Now, that adds, +6 to his attack. And after that, you can have a +6 priority, +6 priority. So +6 priority move called Extreme Speed, 80 base power with stab. And say you're like, well, that's not a big deal. Just switching a ghost type, not a big, it's not that impressive. It gets Shadow Claw, so you're kind of screwed on both fronts. And then it gets Sea Bomb, Stopping Tantrum. It just has really pretty good coverage. Play rough if you want to bring a Sableye, but no one drafted a Sableye, so it really just did not matter. This thing is just insane. After you gain that +6 and everything, this thing kind of just rips through teams. So really liked it. I thought Aang was a great pick. Again, kind of happy I got Terry before. I used Terry a lot more than Aang, but Aang was just fun to use in general. So my not last pick, but my next pick is going to be Raichu, which I named Turn Down for Watts. You can't really see it in the nickname holder there, but Yeah, it's turned down for Watts, and I kind of wish I chose a different name so it kind of fits, but it is what it is. Got Raichu. Kind of just picked this because I needed an electric type. I have an electric immunity, but just in case I didn't want to bring Gligar, which was not gonna happen. Um, I have Lightning Rod and Static as a pretty good move pool. Agility, I thought about bringing that one time. Encore, Extreme Speed. I don't know. I know that's kind of like a weird set, or you have to do something specific with it, but it is what it is. It has Fake Out, Grass Knot, Knock Off, Quick Attack. Yeah, just really good moves. Surf has Surf on it. That's pretty cool. Bolt Switch, Wild Charge, Wish probably on this isn't that good. But anyways, pretty good move pool, decent move pool. Good hard attacker. It gets nasty plot, which is nice. So +2 to its 90 special attack, and then 110 speed. Really just picked this up for the speed tier. Excuse me. But yeah, I just picked this up for the speed tier essentially. So really happy with this pick. Not gonna say I could have picked up probably something better, but at the same time, um, I have a firm belief that electric types are also hard to find. There's just some mons that just are hard to find in specific tiers, and being at a lower tier, Raichu was pretty rough to find an electric type. I could have probably gone with the other Alolan form, um, but this is the one I wanted. And a lot of people, again, for whatever reason, a lot of people are like, well, okay, so like for real, I don't know what it is, but Terry, people were like, oh, why did you pick Terry? Like that's not a good mon. Or well, I didn't. They didn't say that, but they just was like, I would really want to know what you did with Terry or what you're gonna do with Terry. I just don't understand. And then like some people were helping me. Some people understood Pokemon. All right. And then this was another one. Someone was like, I don't understand why you didn't pick Alolan. Well, maybe I just didn't want to. Okay. I didn't want to. I thought it has two good abilities. Okay. Two usable abilities at this point, and a decent move pool. So sorry, man. Anyways, gonna move on. At this point, I picked up my Z Crystal, which is gonna be the Fire Emblem Z. But I'm gonna be honest, I did trade that in late in the in the season, and I got Normalium Z. Did not help, to be honest. Kind of wish I just kept the Fire Emblem Z, but it is what it is. I think that Normalium was, and in general, better for my team. But just to be honest, there was just no other Z crystals that I wanted or that were left. So that got the Normalium Z, and that's that. So that was my first trade, I believe. Yeah. So remember that I only have 4 trades. That was my first trade. Um, because I'm gonna be talking about trades after this. Now this was my second to last pick. My last pick was already locked in. Like it was guaranteed that I was gonna get this mon, so I didn't really want to worry about it. And it was, as you guys know, or if you were paying attention, I finished my Dragon Fairy Steel Core, and I have one more mon for my Grass Fire Water Core, which is the Water type. But I already locked in basically for my water type. I did not need to pick it. So I decided I think I had it since Terry. So I was like, I'm just going to pick up Mons and move on with my life. This was my last pick essentially, which was my Cryogonal. Now, the only reason I picked this thing up was basically because it had a decent move pool. If you look at the stats, it has pretty good stats, good speed tier. But the main reason I picked it up was Rapid Spin. It's a Rapid Spinner. It has Defog, but I have a Defogger and Terry, and I kind of just wanted a Rapid Spinner just in case. Or if anything, I can run Defog if the guy had or my opponent has a Ghost type. Flash Cannon, Freeze Dry, Haze. I thought Haze was a really cool thing as knockoff. Ice Shard, screens. Yeah, it's just a really good mon. Agent Power, I did not know it got that. It got Acid Armor? What? Probably wouldn't help. Anyways, But yeah, I named this Millennials, and that's just knocking on us. I'm a millennial, and yeah, I just picked this up basically for the meme. I'm not gonna lie. Other than Rapid Spin, for the meme. Um, but let's talk about my last pick. My last pick was insane. I was on the fence, about water types, and I haven't picked a mega. So there's like two water types in my mind that could fit the mold. And one would have probably been better, to be honest, just because of the utility it brings. But I was looking at this one mon and I was like, I've never seen this mon before. Like in a draft league, in competitive play. I was like, what the frick does this thing do? And I was like looking into it a little bit more, and I just chuckling with myself as I was looking at it, and I was just like, I'm gonna draft this thing. I don't even care. So I will say what I was thinking about drafting, and then I'll say what I actually drafted. I was thinking about drafting Blastoise because of the utility. It has rapid spin, a great move pool, and it's just honestly really cool. I mean, it's a tank Pokemon. I love tanks. But at the end of the day, I was laughing because I picked up the Bro. This thing is so funny. Like, holy crap, it's so derpy. Like, I've never seen this in a draft league. This thing is insane. It has Regenerator. I don't have to mega first turn, so I can have like a small little Regenerate core with Tangrowth. But this thing is insane. So the reason it has Bro with little dot 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 at the end there is that every week I have a different name for him. Like, so I'm not gonna go into the names. I want it to be kind of a surprise, but every year it has a variation, or every man, I was about to say year, season, blah blah blah. No, every week it has a variation of the word bro. So that's the reason why it's like that. But look at this thing. It has insane stats. It has defense out of the park, 130 special attack, 95 HP. Special D's respectable. I mean, it's respectable. 80. This thing is the definition of how I play, like my play style. Take one and hit harder. That's what I'm saying. So this thing is insane. I love it. It has a very good move pool in my opinion. It has, Skull, which is great. If I burn them, it has Flamethrower. It has Grass Knot, Ice Beam. It has Light Screen, Magic Coat if I really wanted that. Reflect. Um, Slack Off, which was a huge thing, Signal Beam, Shadow Ball, Thunder Wave, and Toxic. Um, yeah, could run a rest set with what is it? Sleep Talk, Trick Room, Trick, even though that actually that would not help at all. Um, Trick Room, yeah, it just has a really good move pool. Really happy with my pick. Thought it was the funniest thing ever. I was like, I got it. This is gonna be the guy. This is my guy. And honestly, this thing is a beast. Never would have thought. I didn't think it was gonna do much. I was gonna just have fun with this season. But this thing is a monster. It just takes so much. And I think the aspect of not many people not really knowing how to handle the bro here, I think that really helped me throughout the season because honestly, like outside of draft, like how often do you see a slow bro in competitive play? Not at all that much, to be honest. I mean, it probably helped that they had to prep for it, being my mega. It kind of like, okay, well, he has a good chance of bringing it. But other than that, like, not a lot of people know about slow bro. And I'll tell you what, they quickly found out. You know what I mean? This thing is a monster. But anyways, enough gassing it up. Let's go into my trade. So as we know, I traded my Fire Z crystal for the Normalium Z. Um, and so I have three more trades. So first mon I traded was Harambe, and I got Snorlax. Now the reason I got Snorlax was because it kind of fit my playstyle a little bit more. A great setup mon, great stats all around. It can has great abilities. Let's look at the abilities: immunity, thick fat, and gluttony. All great abilities in my eye. Thick fat would probably be used more in my opinion. You usually use a curse uh, rest talk, or I'm sorry, no, curse, rest, and resto chesto kind of set. I should say that a little. It can run leftovers. It has a pretty. Is it no? It has a really good move pool. Has the elemental punches. Return hits like a truck. Another set it can run is the belly drum, and it's not up here, with Figgy Berry and Gluttony. And that's a really fun set. I've never really used it with Recycle as well for the berry. I've never really used it, to be honest, but I thought it was really like a really fun set to utilize. I did bring it one time this season, and it was super fun. It was definitely like the funnest thing since sliced bread or something like that. Anyways, but yeah, this is my Snorlax, the Relax, and that was my first trade. So unfortunately, I had to drop Harambe. That's really unfortunate. Um, I had to drop Harambe, but I felt like Snorlax, fit the mold of my team, and I felt like it was gonna be a good centerpiece for my team. Now, another pick that a lot of people they were surprised that I dropped this mon, but I dropped Pepsis. I dropped my Naganadel, and the reason I dropped it was because it really just was not producing. Um, and I just thought this was the week to do it because I got two decent mons for the price of one. And this all counts as one trade, so I got two mons for one. And the first mon I picked up was Puff the Magic Dragon, Dragonite, my mascot for the team. Um, and I just picked this up because this thing is a monster. Let's look at the stats. Pretty even out stats. Um, it's a monster. It has multi scale. A lot of people run weakness policy, which I think is fun. Dragon Dance. It gets extreme speed. It gets a Dragon Claw, Outrage, that stuff. Earthquake. Gets the elemental punches. Nice little haze right there. Hurricane if I wanted to run a special set, which honestly never happened. Iron Head for the fairies, for the pesky fairies. Uh, let's see what else I got. Thunderwave if I really wanted to. Yeah, it just has a really good move pool. Really happy with my pick here. I feel like you know Dragonite in general is just a really good mon. Really slept on. I definitely have a lot of trouble, combating it. And it was really funny. Like I don't understand why people were like judging my picks. Like I had Terry, people judging Terry. I had people judging Raichu, and I had a heavy judgment on my two picks here. And I'll go in the next one. But they were like, someone was like, "Oh, you're dropping Pepsis. That just makes prepping a little bit easier." Um, you know, it just makes it easier for me, and I was just like, okay, we'll see. So kind of glad that I picked up Dragonite. Kind of a fresh slate right there. I mean, for real, Pepsis really was not doing much. um, really was not putting out the damage I needed, and you'll probably see that throughout the season. But yeah, can't wait to see what Puff does. Definitely happy that it's on the team, and it was a key factor for a lot of my games, to be honest. So yeah, really happy about it. And then we're gonna go to the next mon I dropped Nagadendel for, and it's gonna be Cinderella, my Conklater. I love this mon. This mon is amazing. It has three great abilities actually: Guts, Sheer Force, and Iron Fist. People normally use Guts and Iron Fist, but mainly, to be honest, Guts. They use the Flame Orb or the Assault Vest, or that's at least what I do. It has all the punches in the world, and it has knockoff, and it has poison jab. Um, yeah, this thing is awesome. I love this thing. This thing is really one of my favorite fighting types. Um, and I thought the name was clever, Cinderella, because look, it has like little cinder blocks, and you know, yeah, Cinderella. Anyways, this thing came one time, and then I traded it. Um, to be honest. So that kind of sucks, but at the same time, I just kind of looked at my team again and kind of decided what direction I wanted to go with it. So I dropped Cinderella for this last mon, and it actually is my favorite mon. This is my favorite legendary Pokemon, and it's gonna be Tapu Heihei or Tapu Koko, whichever one you want to call it. I call it Tapu Heihei. This thing can run anything. Look at those stats. It has a really good attack. It has a good move pool and it has good special attack. It has electric surge, so the special attack will be boosted if it's an electric type move. Really, really good speed tier. So basically, essentially, I should say, I dropped Nagana Adele, and this is my new Nagana Adele, but I believe this one really helps my team out a lot. So we got that going. Items, you can run Scarf, Specs, Life Orb, Z move, I guess. Well, I guess not, because I don't have an Electrium Z. But move pool is like insane. So agility, Brave Bird, Dazzling Gleam, Defog. It gets freaking defog. Um, Iron Head, just some things I'm naming off. Nature's Madness, Taunt. I really thought that was really cool. Thunderbolt. It gets both turns, so it gets Volt Switch and then gets U-turn, which I thought was cool. And then it gets Wild Charge, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, it just has a really good move pool. Didn't really look into it much. I kind of had a roll for it, and that's exactly why I picked it up. For me, Tapu Koko was like the key to playoffs, in my opinion. Definitely an insane mon, and definitely could not wait to see what it did. But yeah, that was my draft, guys. I hope you guys had a good time. Tell me what your thoughts are, and I can't wait to show you what happened throughout the season. Peace.